The former addict and a future bride, we are talking all that and more for E's Revenge Body with Khloé Kardashian after show here on AFTERBUZZ TV. How about that?
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
How about that? Catch me outside.
How about that? How about that? How about that?
I think I'm the only person that's never heard that song.
You've never heard
It's so
this?
good. It's so catchy. And like these kids dancing to it. It's so good.
Like
It is.
I love it. I
It's
know.
amazing. Well, guys, hello and welcome to the Revenge Body After Show here on AFTERBUZZ TV. Today we are covering The Former Addict and the Future Bride, an awesome episode. We cover Lauren and Jesse tonight. They were both amazing. Just overall, what was your guys' thoughts?
Thought it was a great episode. Two women that seemed, well, not really both of them. Jesse was hesitant at first, but ended up going beautiful. I thought it was a great show.
I did too.
Yeah.
I liked seeing Khloé more. Khloé was more present in this episode.
She was
Yeah.
definitely present. Yeah.
But before we get started, Dakota, tell us where we can find you
Yes.
on social.
You guys can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at Mr. Dakota T. Jones, and I'm joined by my lovely panelists.
Hi, guys. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Heather Yerrid.
Hey guys, I'm Michelle Madison. You can find me on Instagram at Michelle_Madison TV.
Welcome back to Revenge Body, y'all. I'm Rachel Robillard, and y'all can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at Rach_Robillard. So,
But don't catch her outside.
but you can't catch me outside. I won't be there. Ain't about that.
It's been too cold anyway outside.
We bad and
so.
bougie.
We bad and bougie. It's too cold out there in LA.
So Lauren was who we're going to talk about first.
Yes.
She was honestly such one. She reminds me so much of my aunt. Someone who's just so caring, loving, timid, and afraid of what people are going to think of her. I related to her so much in the fact that I just felt like she was a member of my family. Someone who I've seen her spirit in a lot of the people in my family. Just very loving, and they have so much love to give, and I feel like she just didn't believe in herself enough at that point.
Right.
And so I was really encouraged to see her storyline play out, but it was very sad and very traumatizing that while they were on vacation, her dad passed away the day before they were supposed to come back. Like,
She was
that
18.
would be awful. Like, going on a vacation, getting ready to have fun with your family, and then something like that happening, like, you would think, well, what would have happened if we would have just stayed home type of thing. It just really broke my heart for her.
Yeah, it seems that guilt that she had and that she carried with that absolutely contributed to her weight gain. And she said it did spiral and start with her and her brother after the death of her father. So it was good timing. I don't know how many years it was after. It was a good number of years since that had happened, at least 10, right?
Yeah, because she was 18 at the time.
Yeah.
She was graduating high school.
Yeah, and I'm not sure how old she was in this one, but clearly she had hung on to it for some time. And she complained the least that I've seen out of anyone that's been on. Did you guys notice that? Or did you,
Yeah,
like,
I think that.
like she wasn't like saying, I can't do this, I'm gonna get a headache, I'm gonna have a problem. She just kind of like, okay, when she was asked on a scale from 1 to 10 how bad do you feel, she would say a 9, but she just was receptive, open, and ready to rock and roll. So
Definitely.
that was good. That was good.
An interesting takeaway for her, for me, because it hit a little close to home, because she said that she now, once her father passed away, that her brother became that father figure. So it was like everything that he said was multiplied, you know. And I kind of felt it on both sides for her, because as an older sibling, you mess with your younger siblings. You don't think about what ramifications that has on them. But once her father passed, her brother took on this role, and I'm not even sure if he knows he took on that role to her. So everything that he said, it was like it was a parent saying it to her. So it was just that much more.
Yeah.
But I like to see where their relationship goes after this.
Yeah. Right. And that's why she took so much things to heart. You know, he called her like a roly-poly at the end, or, compared her to some really name-calling names that no one wants to be called. And that she was called the hippopotamus at Disney, on that Disney World land. And it hits home. Yeah, I mean, no one wants to be called that, especially from a family member, as we have all talked about. And that's just... You don't want to be, that's not cool.
It's so interesting that family, usually it does in a lot of these stories, family is the one that
the biggest trigger.
Yeah,
the biggest trigger.
Cut. I don't think he knew what he was doing. I
No.
think it was projecting.
I don't think it was spite.
Exactly.
It wasn't that.
Because he was bigger himself, so I think that he thought, oh, we're kind of on the same level. You know, I can kind of joke with you about this, but it still tears someone down as a person. It doesn't matter if you're the same as them or not. Like, those words are demeaning, and I understand. I wouldn't want to be called the names that he called, or like, you know, even at the reveal, oh, you're not a roly-poly anymore.
Yeah.
That's, you know, I don't think he meant it in a bad way. It was just his way of just kind of joking around, but that's damaging. So I understand. I understand. And when he said he was going to kind of tone it back, we were kind of like, don't tone it back. Just don't call her those things anymore. But I love her determination, her spirit throughout the entire episode. George Cruz was her trainer.
Great match. His energy was very... Again, I want to say reserved, but I don't mean that in a bad way. I just can't think of another word. It wasn't too intense. It was open, receptive, positive, supportive, and just kept pushing her. That, again, very different than what I seen a trainer, but her progress, how much weight she lost, I was surprised.
Yeah, she's like her and the other lady from another episode, the couple that lost 50 pounds.
Yes.
So far we've had a tie, right?
Yeah, they both. Yeah, Lauren lost 50 pounds. She went from 275 to 225, and has lost 10 pounds since the show.
So even more.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. And just seeing her and her spirit being lifted and her smile coming back on her face, she just seems so excited to live life and get married. And
I know.
I just loved seeing that wedding dress being, you know, kind of getting to snatch that a little bit.
Yeah, that was a lot.
She had a lot to trim off. And I think that was the coolest thing, something to look forward to. You know, revenge on her brother, but also something to work towards. She was working towards her wedding day. And I mean, we all have that, you know, like everyone wants to be
perfect
princess material for your wedding day. So that's why I feel like, yeah, her brother was in her mind for revenge, but we all kind of know it was really to look good in that wedding dress. Am I right?
Nothing wrong with that,
am I right?
Nothing wrong.
Yeah.
No.
I honestly really thought that they were going to show part of the wedding on TV and make it like kind of like a TV wedding. I figured they would do that, but I understand that, you know, the show has so many minutes that they can fit everything in. And she probably honestly wanted her wedding to be special and just with her and her family.
Right.
Because she seems like that kind of a private person who would want her wedding to be like that. Don't you think? You don't think so?
I think we have... you said they got picked up for another season, right?
Yes, tonight.
So I think this is our second bride on the show. Bride-to-be. So I think we are getting content for revenge body brides.
Yes.
Yeah, we're definitely seeing repeat patterns.
Khloé, you guys need to hire me. That was a good idea.
That was good. That was good.
Yeah, I love that. And like Stephanie did just text me and I say, we are going for season 2. So I'm like, all right, you better be in the gym with Luke training the new people.
Right.
Because that would be awesome to have some of the old...
Yeah, that'd be good to come as, you know, motivation.
Yeah. How about the extra surprise though that they did spend extra time on, which is bringing Tyler on for her?
Yeah.
What did you guys think?
Yes, that was honestly so amazing. I am a big fan of Tyler, the Hollywood medium, and he actually was supposed to join us in studio tonight. Unfortunately, he had to cancel due to some filming issues, like with something else.
But thanks for trying.
But thanks for trying. We honestly were super excited to have him. But I love him. I read his book, and I was one of those people who originally kind of was like, I don't know if I totally believe in this. Like he might be able to Google some of this stuff. Originally, I thought this. And just watching his show, and like I've Googled so many clips and different things, you can't make this stuff up. You can't research this. Like some of the small, minute details that he was conveying through people was just insane. And I'm like, there's no way that he can do anything behind the scenes to make this look good. Like he is
the real deal.
The real deal, in my opinion.
Death is one of the most difficult things to get past. I love that bringing him onto the show added that different angle again, that we get to see a soul healing, just like we saw with the dietitian speaking to her soul in regards to being assaulted. Tyler did the same thing here with Lauren. And anytime you can be a conduit of spirit to get someone clear is super powerful. So I definitely believe, me personally, that contributed to her ability to lose weight, because it's that closure that she needed to fill that void that she was feeling with food. So that was great. I loved seeing that for sure.
Something else that reading brought to light was that the father wanted the family as a whole to get their health better.
Yes.
So that was also
be careful,
good.
be careful, be careful.
Yeah. He didn't have the chance to do it while he was here, but he wants to make sure that they, you know, take the opportunity to do that.
And seeing her meeting with her brother and being like, look, you need to be careful. Dad says be careful. You got to be there for your children. You know, you don't want to leave early like Dad had to. So it's one of those things. I loved seeing his determination. He's like, you know what? Okay, you know what? I do need to make changes in my life. If I'm going to be around for my family, I need to make changes now.
Today, tonight, tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved that.
He
I
went
loved
to that last minute binge. I'm there with you, boo.
Yeah.
Last minute binge.
But I love that because it seemed like their relationship strengthened, and he was able to convey that he was sorry and that he didn't mean anything demeaning towards her.
Right.
So I love seeing that healing process. It seemed like this whole episode was a big healing process for Lauren.
It was.
Through Tyler's in connection with her father to making up with her brother and kind of setting the boundaries of, okay, this is how we're gonna talk to each other, and we're not gonna be demeaning. And I loved seeing that moment because it was special, and each episode is so special because there's totally different storylines, and this one for me was just one of those that really touched my heart.
Was she the one that said, I don't really, revenge isn't the right word?
Yeah.
Or was that,
Yes.
that keeps coming up. That's a reoccurring theme. And we talked
I
about
agree.
that the first episode because we were like, well, revenge sometimes it's difficult, or you shouldn't necessarily do it for someone else, but it's a
Yeah.
great first motivator. What do you guys think about people putting the brakes on? Like, revenge isn't necessarily what I want.
I mean,
Do you feel that has some sort of sentiment, that word?
It's
Revenge has a negative connotation, I feel. To
Yeah.
have revenge on someone means like to get back at them. Like
Yes.
I'm
Yeah.
better than you because of this, or I'm wanting to prove something towards you. It has a negative connotation in my eyes.
I was
Do y'all?
expecting way more relationship revenge
Yeah.
with this title. Because at the end of the day, depending upon how evolved you are, you do want revenge. Normally, it's on either a best friend, like we saw with Stephanie,
Right.
or it's a relationship. Like, I'm going to get revenge on you because you left me for this girl who's 10 years younger, or you did this to me. But we really, again, are seeing more of the death in the family dynamic, the
Yeah.
bride dynamic. Well, I don't know
But
how
we
many
kind of got
episodes
that
are.
one with the guy,
Which
teddy
one?
bear cub guy.
Will.
Will.
Will, yes.
Yeah, one,
Well,
just one. I was expecting
You
way
wanted more. Look at you just wanted juicy.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at you.
I'm
Oh.
just like, with revenge, it's hard because that was the first thing I thought too. I was like, revenge is such a strong word. It wouldn't be. I would hope not to do it for revenge, so that I could.
Will definitely got his revenge.
Oh,
He was
yeah.
dating
Yeah.
Kyle's
Oh,
ex.
yeah.
Speaking
I
of Will,
love that. I love that.
I know. Speaking of Will, he tweeted me and was like, "When am I going to come on the show and spill some tea?"
Come on, Will.
So next week,
Yep.
Will is coming in studio, and Stephanie Perez is going to join him,
Mm-hmm.
and they are going to have so much fun spilling the tea on that couch.
guys.
It's going to be great. I'm so excited that he's going to be joining, and Stephanie as well. That's going to be a super fun episode.
So everyone in the audience, you guys could have tea, and we'll have some champagne.
Yeah,
Yes.
we have to have
Since it's less
champagne
calories.
because exactly
Oh my
we learned
God.
from
This
George.
one here was real excited
I mean,
about
yes.
you would have known 200 calories and only 5 ounces of wine and 78 calories in champagne.
champagne.
She's so giddy.
Yes.
be a
Why are we
spokesperson
not
for
drinking
someone.
champagne?
Oh my God, champagne is my favorite. You blindfold me, give me 7 glasses of different champagne.
All right,
I will tell you
champagne.
every single
Wow.
one. I love it. I love it.
She
So
lives
excited.
for
Now
it.
you have more reason to.
Yeah.
Speaking of special people coming on, don't we have someone calling in tonight?
We do, yes. In a few minutes, we're going to be calling Jessie, who is an amazing contestant from tonight's show. I love her story. Let's go ahead and get into it right now. My main thing with her, it did make me so sad. I mean, this was one of our first contestants that I think we've seen with a drug addiction, if I'm correct.
Good drug
Yeah.
to lose weight on, but very addictive and messes up your metabolism.
Yeah.
Meth can really screw with your metabolism, which is what I thought was happening to her when she wasn't losing weight at first, until I really understood Harley's meal plan for her. Did you guys think that it wasn't going to be a good plan for her, that when she was gaining weight that he was doing something wrong?
Well, this is the first time that a trainer has been on a second time. Harvey has been on for the girls, the couple
Harley?
girls.
Yeah,
And
before.
so he was already on before, and it worked for them. And so we don't
you
know.
knew, yeah.
We knew it was going to work for Jessie too, just
Yeah.
based on what has happened in the past.
I figured it was something healthy anyway, so.
Yeah.
I mean, he did-
Harley or Harvey?
Harley.
Harley,
like
right?
Davidson.
Harley. Yeah.
Yeah.
Harley
like the Bible.
Pasternak.
Yeah,
Pasternak.
Pasternak.
He trained Kim Kardashian and Kanye.
Nah.
So I'm assuming that
That
he
it was
has
good.
some sense.
The biggest misconception when it comes to dieting is 2 things that we saw in this episode. One, her standing on the scale and worrying about pounds. You are absolutely going to gain weight when you're gaining muscle, which means you are transferring that fat into muscle. And as long as you're losing the inches, which in the first, 2 weeks, it was
Yeah.
4, 4, 4,
Yeah.
4,
Yeah.
4.
In 2 weeks.
Yeah, and that's from eating. Now, I'm telling you that because I'm secretly regurgitating to myself to eat more in order
Healthy
to lose
stuff.
weight.
Yes.
Eat more healthy.
Yeah.
Because that's what it takes.
And you brought up a good point during the viewing. It depends on where the scale is too. Who knew? The
Yes.
scale is
Yeah.
working against you.
No, you absolutely. You cannot have it on
Oh
a
my
crease or a crack.
gosh.
Right.
Take someone who used to weigh yourself every day and count every pound. Don't do it anymore. You have to move it out where there's no divots on the floor.
Yeah.
And it's actually the most accurate by the front door. That's where your floor will be.
Interesting. Okay, because that was
Oh,
really...
to be more flat. That makes sense. that makes sense.
Yeah, it cracked me up though because she was like, how did I gain 4 pounds? And then she moved it, and it's like, oh, I gained 1 pound. And I think it was her Was
Her
it her
husband,
husband? He was like,
Colin.
"Oh, look, you've already lost 3 pounds." I'm like, that was so funny. Like,
That was a married people moment.
You know what bothered me about her story a lot, and again, I kind of resonate with this. I have not ever been more so than like 20 pounds overweight, so technically that's not that much. But I really resonated when she was like, I took a picture of myself before I got off of meth, and everyone was like, "You look too skinny, you look this," and she was like, "Oh, thank you." It really is in those moments where you are an unhealthy weight, especially in society today, that people are actually, she was saying they'd said, "You look bad, you look bad." I've actually experienced the worst where they're like, "You look gorgeous," and in my head I'm like, I'm fucking eating cheese and that's it, you know, but it's unfortunate that no, it's changing now, but that is always difficult, but it bothers me again to see that that's what it is, and that's what it took for her to get there. But she pulled out of it, which was awesome.
I'm glad she's the one who pulled herself out.
Yes.
It wasn't anyone else telling her, "Oh, you need to."
That's how strong she is.
Yeah. So I thought that was very admirable, especially seeing as though her relationship with her mom and her grandfather, and
her dad was a Marine, right?
Her mother's father.
Oh, okay.
I believe,
And that
right?
hard background is it is what it is. That I feel like we keep repeating where there's the families and that hard pressure. Do better here, do better here, do better here. All of our parents think that that's the way to motivate. I know it motivates. I am one of those people that motivates me. All I know is the bad feedback that's like, you could have done this better. And that's what motivates, but I don't think that is the case for the majority. What about you guys? Are you more motivated by empowering, like, you did good, go for it, or you could do this better? Harder or more empowering?
My background's a little
Empowerment?
different. Yeah, I mean, I was very blessed that my mom and my parents, for the most part, weren't like that. It was kind of like whatever Michelle wants, Michelle does. It was like, you're going to be this and that, and that's how I grew up.
Nice.
So when I do have people around me that are negative, it's weird. Like, I remember you for that because I don't hear it too often. But I always like to, you know, if someone says something negative about themselves, I always like to turn it around because you just never know what kind of day someone's having.
Right.
But I personally, I'm self-motivated. So I'm like Jessie.
Yeah, for sure. What about
I've
you?
kind of had it both ways. You know, I had my grandmother kind of fat shaming me while my mom allowing it and just being more positive about it. Not necessarily allowing, but just being more positive rather than my grandma being a little more negative towards the matter of fact. But I mean, eventually it was my decision. You know, I decided to put away instead of having 5 scoops of Rocky Road ice cream, just having one. You know, it's just like, it was a process. And the biggest thing for me when growing up in elementary school and transitioning into middle school, that's when I started to lose the weight. And I remember vividly, I gave up sodas and just started drinking water. And that was the biggest,
it's a lot of sugar.
the biggest change for me was just like giving up those sodas and drinking water. And
that's exactly
you
what I
start
need
dropping.
to do. Man, I drink soda so much, almost more than I do water, which is really awful. It's
we're
not
going to
good.
change that.
We're going to change that.
Water's
Please
so good
encourage
for
me,
you.
guys. Encourage me, because I have a really hard time drinking just water. And every time you eat out, your drink, if it's a fast food place, comes with the meal. So it's like, oh, I don't want to waste the money and get water. That's my mentality.
No. At Wendy's, when I get that $4 for 4 meal.
You're like, ooh, I want some Dr. Pepper.
No, I get water.
Wow,
water.
I'm impressed.
Yeah, so you get bottled water with it.
I'm impressed.
Yeah.
So,
It's so good to be drinking water. I actually drink a gallon of water every day at work.
Wow.
I kid you not. I have a whole gallon of water at my desk and another cup that I just like continuously pour it in. And my coworkers, they see me in the kitchen pouring it up every day, a whole gallon. They're like, "You're gonna drink that?" I'm like, "That's what I do."
You pee a lot.
And I can't. Oh yeah, every like 20-30 minutes I'm in the bathroom. If I'm not at my desk, y'all know where I'm at. But then at first it took a week for me to like, oh my goodness, I don't know if I can do this, but I've been doing it since August, and that's just what I do
and
every day at work.
Less sugar now, right?
Yeah,
Everything tastes extra sweet.
Yeah, and I also am not. I tell myself I cannot leave until I'm done, and like that's how. So I got at the very end I'm kind of drinking a lot more. But
That's awesome.
It's good.
That's really thank
Water's
you guys.
so good for you, y'all.
Thank
It's
you.
so good.
Well, we are getting ready. If you don't mind, Stephen, if we can go ahead and call Jessie. We're going to get her on the line. We're going
Jessie.
to talk to her, which is exciting. It's one of those things with her mom. She put her on diet pills. I wanted to touch on that for a second.
8.
So, yeah, that was crazy.
32.
Yeah. Hi, Jessie. This is Dakota. How's it going?
Hi, Jessie.
We are all so proud of you.
Because it said no caller ID.
Oh.
We're not bill collectors.
We're not bill collectors. We are so sorry. We tried to.
I gotta go. I have no money for you.
Well, we're so proud of you. Tonight's episode was amazing, and we were just so so emotionally attached to everything you were saying. Your story's incredible, and you look so snatched and lovely.
Yes, girl, work it.
Yeah.
What
Thank you so much.
What was
Yeah.
the best part about it for you?
There was a lot. I literally just finished watching, and there was a lot of stuff that they didn't that we filmed that they didn't put in there. And one of my
us.
favorite things was getting to meet Harush Hakimian, who did my makeup for the reveal, who is like
Yeah.
one of my biggest idols, because I'm a makeup artist myself, and
Right.
to have her was one of my best moments. I had a lot. Khloé and I had a lot of fun. Like every time we filmed together, we were dying laughing. There was another point. If you saw that awful pink dress that I was
The
in
peach
at
one?
the
I
end
thought
of
it looked
the.
nice on you.
I thought it was awful too.
But
personally.
the cut of it was like ridiculous,
Oh, yeah.
and it was like corseted,
Yeah.
and my boobs were spilling out in like the funniest way.
Welcome
and
to the life.
I kept making Khloé come look over my shoulder. I was like, "Oh, come here, you got to see what I'm seeing." Look over my shoulder so she could see from my point of view, and we were dying because she was like, "You look like when he got his bulb caught in the zipper in Something About Mary."
Sounds like a Khloé analogy.
I love when she walks in and she's like, ta ta ta.
Do people still say that you
Yeah,
look like her?
We had so much fun, huh?
Do you still get told that you look like her? Because you look more like her now than like.
I see it.
Now, right, I have been since Keeping Up aired originally. I don't know that I've gone a single day without somebody telling me I look exactly like her.
Wow.
Girl.
I genuinely don't see it. I really don't.
I see it.
But watching the clips of she and I together, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
You need to start charging some appearance
I mean,
fees,
it's like
girl.
the best compliment ever.
I know. It's one of those things, especially afterwards once you got your hair cut as well. When you were walking in, I was like, oh my gosh. And I love that slow kind of montage of you walking
With the
and strutting with the sunglasses.
Oh yeah, those
Girl,
cat eyeglasses.
be years.
You look
That was
good
really
without
cool.
the makeup.
Originally, they had told me that when you saw me go, oh my God, it's Tracy Cunningham. Thank God, I feel so much better. Was because I didn't know who was going to be doing my hair, and the producers told me that they wanted to take me like Khloé blonde and cut my
Oh.
hair into a bob, so same as Khloé's. And I've had hair like black hair down to my waist since I was like 18.
I
Uh-huh.
love
So
that.
that
Matricia
scared the
Adams
crap
stuff.
out of me. And I was
Yeah.
like, no, I don't want to be blonde.
Yeah, that's super
And as
different.
soon as I saw Tracy, I was like,
It's great.
girl, you do whatever you want to do.
Yeah. Well,
I know you got
Red.
this.
Yeah.
Red was her idea.
I love
like
the
the
red.
red.
Yeah, I think it looked
I
awesome.
love the red.
I want to see.
Are you
all
still
those
red?
colors.
Do you
Yes,
still have the same
I am.
color hair? Okay, and still
That's
the same
awesome.
cut, or are you growing it out a bit?
It's grown a little bit,
Okay.
but I'm just it took. This is not to say that Tracy isn't the greatest colorist in the world, because she is, but to strip 12 years of black out of hair, it does a little damage.
Yeah.
You
So
got
I'm just trying to grow the damage out so I can cut it off again.
Yeah.
deep condition
Okay.
every weekend. I'm a box blonde, so trust me, I understand.
Yeah.
I
So you know, girl.
understand. I know. Deep condition.
I did want to say you have a very large following on Instagram, and you're a makeup artist, you said, correct?
I am.
Yes, so you had like an established following going into this, and I know that you weren't really allowed to post photos of your body while this was going on, so how was it not being able to post as much?
It was a huge struggle. So when I first, this is going to sound so like vain, and I don't mean it to, but when we first started shooting, I had like just shy of about 100,000 followers.
Uh-huh.
And for me, I work really hard on my social media and curating and, styling photos and creating the content and stuff. I work really hard on it. And it really does. It's very time consuming, and it's not easy to get, a large following. And one of the things that happens when you have a large following, when you're in my industry, for example, is I can demand higher day rates on sets because I can promote to 100,000 people in a second.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it was important to my business for me to be able to maintain that. And then as soon as the show started, I was not allowed to post any photos of myself until tonight, until the show aired. And it's been almost like 10 months.
Wow.
So I lost over 20,000 followers in the amount of time that,
Wow.
which sucks.
That
You'll
does
get
Yeah,
them
so I'm
back.
hoping I
and-
get 'em
you'll
back.
get them back,
You
and
will
then
get them
some.
back.
Yeah, you're gonna get them back in tenfold now because
Yeah.
and I'm sure I'm such an avid Instagrammer. I'm sure you are so ecstatic to be able to post again. Like, honestly.
Oh my God, it's going to be nothing but like nudes.
That's amazing.
Well,
No,
girl,
I'm totally kidding. I'm totally kidding.
Use the little black. Use the little black bars like Kim does.
Yes.
There you go.
Nothing to wear.
Just use Kim's little. I didn't have any clothes. So
Nothing close to wear.
I did want to touch on, obviously, your trainer Harley. When you guys kind of got into it a little bit, were you kind of sitting there whenever he kind of clapped back at you? Were you kind of like, oh crap, like we're having some conflict right now?
I was holding back tears because I'm not, maybe this is because I spent most of my life as a drug addict, but I don't deal well with authority.
Yeah.
And when they snap at me like that, I get really emotional.
Yeah.
So I was holding back tears in that scene.
Wow.
But I think what it was like I said on the show, I just, I've had many nutritionists, dietitians, et cetera, in my life, and what he was telling me to do was contradictory to everything I've ever been told. And I didn't understand it. It wasn't that I didn't trust him. I didn't understand how that was going to work. I didn't understand how I could drink, that many carbs and that much sugar and lose weight. To me, it didn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
And I lost 6 pounds the first week, and I was ecstatic. But what you saw was about week 3 or 4, and I was stalled at 6 pounds since week 1. So I was terrified. I was like, okay, we're quarter of the way through this, and I still look the same, and I'm still going to be the fat one at the end of the show, and I was losing my mind.
Yeah.
And that's when I sat down with Harley with the intent of being like, hey, can we, like, adjust this or something? Because I'm getting real nervous, and he just handed me my ass.
Oh, yeah. He sure did. I do want to know, did you get a new scale? Because that thing the numbers were all over the place. It was like 4 pounds and then 1 pound.
I have not. I never got on a scale again until I got on a scale the day of the reveal. Which, you know what? Since I have you guys here, I would just like to say that the end of the show said that I lost 30 pounds, but that was incorrect. It was actually 42 by the time the show wrapped.
Oh my goodness.
42.
Wow.
And I saw that and I was like, what?
Yeah, right?
You were like, get the numbers right.
They robbed me of 12 pounds. I'm so glad that you got to share that.
Thanks for clarifying that.
Yeah.
It's 42
But
pounds.
what happened was Khloé and Harley both told me, like, look, I don't want you getting on the scale anymore, because for me, the scale just really messed with my mental game.
Mm-hmm.
And Khloé even said to me, she's like, look, honey, when you get on the scale, you don't know what's fat, what's water, what's blood, what's bone, what's this, what's that. She's like, all you're looking at is a single number. If she said, she told me she doesn't have a scale in her house.
I don't either.
And she told me to get rid of mine, and Harley said the same thing, get rid of it, I don't want you on it, I don't want any of my clients on it.
That's awesome.
So what we started to do was measurements instead after about week 3. And then once we started doing measurements, it was so much easier for me to see, and all I was seeing was progress, So, like, if I got bloated because I was PMSing, like, it didn't reflect in a 5-pound weight gain because it wasn't a scale.
Yes.
So it was it really helped me, and I would suggest that to anybody who has a really difficult time, like, handling what happens to them mentally when they get on the scale, is to just do measurements, because that's what matters.
It is.
And I actually lost 42 inches all over my entire body, so it was about 4.5 feet of fat.
Wow, that's amazing. I did also want to say congrats. You said 10 years sober, correct?
Yes.
That's incredible. That's amazing.
Congrats.
Thank
You're making
you.
a lot of milestones.
Thank you very much.
Definitely. We're all so proud of you. It's crazy, like, to think of how far, I mean, they show 12 weeks in one episode, and to watch the growth. I mean, obviously for you it was 12 weeks. For us, we were seeing, like, results instantly, and just to see, like, that side-by-side comparison of you from the beginning to the end, where they did, like, the spin, it was crazy. I think your transformation is one of my favorites so far on the show.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah.
That's a
Great
camera.
transformation.
Yes.
They called it aptly named. It was called the Orca camera. So that was, like, disheartening in itself. And when it would spin around you, it would just it always started from the bottom. So I was like, oh my god, this is going to look really, really bad. And the first day they asked me to do it, they said, I'm sorry, hold on. My dog. The first day they told me to do it, they're like, okay, we're going to have you take your shirt off and just have your leggings and a sports bra. And I burst into tears. Like, I broke down crying.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be on TV with no shirt on. Like, I'm not okay with that, and blah, blah, blah. And, the footage went too fast for you to see, but I was crying my eyes out in that whole scene.
Aww.
And the whole time I was just like, oh God, I'm just gonna be crying on television.
I wanted to talk about one thing that stood out. That was my favorite part. Is the raw, real conversation with your mother.
Yes.
That that dynamic to me was very. I don't know if anyone would use the word impressive, but to me that was impressive. You went at her. She came right back. She ended up apologizing, but she was the energy as intense as we received on the other end from the TV? And is there anything else that you can share about that experience?
It definitely was. I mean, you have to remember, it is reality TV, so there is an aspect of it that's kind of pumped up. But basically, I walked in and my mom was really happy for me. And then, the showrunner was like, I'm so happy this is going so great, but it's a little bit boring.
That's reality TV.
And my husband looked at us and goes, just act like you guys act when there are no cameras on. And that's when we were like, okay. Like, went in.
And it was genuine. I mean, I really felt like that was real.
Yeah.
That was real content.
Oh,
So
yeah.
thank y'all for being that real.
Like,
Yes.
Just about any time you get me and my mom.
Yeah. When the cameras were off, was she upset that you called her out
that's a
on
good
national
question.
television?
Yeah. She was pissed.
Oh, I bet.
She was pissed.
I
Even
bet.
to this day, I have to preface this by saying my mom, she's hard on me, but she is also my best friend in the entire world. We're so close.
Good.
I see her every week. I talk to her every single day. I love my mom more than anything.
Yeah.
And when she's not picking on me, she's like the best mom and the best friend in the world. It's just that's the only aspect of our relationship that is difficult. And I forgot what I was going to say.
You were going to talk about.
I just really wanted
No,
to say it. That was important that she and I are really
That's
close.
good.
She was awesome. You were referencing something about go ahead.
Right. She says to me now. Are you leaving? Okay, love you. Bye. Thank you for coming.
Love you, bye.
She said to me that. Well, she still makes like little jabs and jokes and stuff, and I literally said to her the other day, I was like, "You learned nothing from this experience, did you?" And she said, "Me? What was I supposed to learn?"
Oh my goodness.
That's the mom, Mama Bear.
That's so
All
funny.
right.
Yes.
That's
I'm
good.
curious.
Got you.
Now that she
And
has
every now and then, when she's mad, she'll be like, and blah, 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 blah. And then you throw me under the bus with the Khloé Kardashian thing, which is like totally off
you'll
topic.
never live it down.
Yeah,
That is so funny.
I loved your mom.
Yeah.
Like when I saw her, she reminded me of my mom, and I respect the fact that you're like she's the greatest. She's the greatest. Just everyone is conditioned. That's how she was raised. That's what she knows.
That's how she was raised.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
And you, I mean, at the end of the day, you are very strong, Jessie. So she did something right, which you
Yeah.
already know because you
Very.
already said. But it was cool.
Yeah.
It was cool
Thank
to see
you.
you guys go at that. Like
Yeah.
that was nice.
And Jessie,
It
how's
was
the
fun.
how's the baby making going?
Yeah,
You're
that's
working on
good.
being a mom yourself. Are you enjoying the process?
I was surprised
I'm
they
so
put
naughty.
that on there. That was really embarrassing.
Hey.
Well, she's not trying now. It's
I'm always
2018.
enjoying the process.
So how
Not
soon are you
quite
guys gonna
pregnant
start
yet.
trying for 2018? 'Cause, you know, Beyonce got a twins.
Yeah,
going.
Beyonce, you got twins.
There you go. Now I gotta have some triplets.
Oh, that's right.
To step
Like
it up.
Pharrell had triplets earlier in January.
Wow.
Right? Yeah.
Wait on the baby.
Well, during-
Take your time. Enjoy
during
your
the
body
filming
and your
of the
husband.
Huh?
So enjoy your body and
Sorry.
your husband. It's all good. It's all good.
Oh shit! Oh, they'll enjoy it, and then the babies will come.
That's right.
During the filming of the show, my lifelong best friend and my sister both got pregnant.
Oh,
So,
wow.
and what was really fun for me was like, oh my god, for the first time, you guys are gonna be fat and I'm
That's amazing.
How do you think it's gonna go? Because obviously, when you're pregnant, you're gonna have to gain some weight. Is it gonna be one of those things where you're gonna be like, oh man, I just got all this weight off, and to have to obviously you'll get rid of it after the baby as well. But like, is that gonna be kind of a hard transition going from being so excited about your new body to having to gain some weight back?
Yeah, it is, and I've thought a lot about that. And we're not like actively trying. Like if it happens, it happens. We're not like,
Yeah.
actively trying yet because there's like a specific goal that I would really like to reach.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know I'm going to put on a lot of weight probably when I get pregnant. So I'd like to start real low so that even I don't want to get back to where I started with Revenge Body just because of a pregnancy. Like I'd like to
Yes.
start lower than that. And the best thing about what Harley taught me is bye, love you. Thank you. It's manageable for somebody who's pregnant or not. Bye, guys. so I could still do that when I'm pregnant. I can still go out and take 12 to 15,000 steps a day.
Yeah.
And it's not anything that's going to be too intense for a pregnant woman to endure. It's not anything that's going to like kick my thermogenic levels up so high that it puts the fetus in jeopardy or anything. It really is manageable.
Oh, you sound like you've done some research.
Yeah,
you
you
sound
have.
like a
Right?
doctor. I'm like, what? Huh? Thermogenics?
She knows.
She knows. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Again, I
Yes.
can't stress enough how proud we are of you, and we'd love to have you join us in studio again sometime when you're available.
Yes.
Yes, I would absolutely love to. I'm so sorry I wasn't able to make it tonight.
No,
That's
it's all
right.
good.
But Jesse,
Congratulations.
before you go, please tell us where we can find you on social media. We'd love to help you gain those followers back.
Oh, thank you. My Instagram is blush and bone. It's all one word, kind of like flesh and bone. It's
Okay.
blush, BLUSH, and bone.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Wonderful.
Well, thank you
Yes.
again so much.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
Thanks so much, guys. It was so nice to talk to you.
Yes, you too.
Bye.
Good night.
Take
Bye.
care.
Bye.
Oh.
Awesome.
She's so sweet.
She's awesome.
Right?
I
She's
love
real.
her.
She's real.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah,
Very,
I love
very
when
sweet
people
advice.
are real. And even if she
Right.
did say the whole thing about how it's reality TV, they amped it up.
That's
like you
reality
said,
TV.
it was so genuine because it didn't take much for them to go off and be like, all right, if this
Yeah.
isn't real enough for you, then let's get real.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
her and her mom definitely went back and forth. I did love, it was encouraging to hear that her mom and her are very close because I
Right.
think during the show you can kind of think, oh wow, her mom was hard on her, but it doesn't take away from all the wonderful years that they've had, and they're growing and they're learning more about how to treat each other. So I really appreciate what she said about that.
I agree.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good
Yeah.
show.
It was
show.
so much fun.
Yeah.
So thank you guys so much for joining us. Again, next week we will have Will and Stephanie joining us. So that's going to be amazing.
Yay.
And where can we find you on social media?
Yes, thank y'all so much for tuning in. My name is Rachel Robillard, and you can find me on all social media at Rach_Robillard.
Hey guys, I'm Michelle Madison. You can find me on Instagram at Michelle_Madison TV.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Heather Yerrid.
You guys can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at Mr. Dakota T. Jones. And you can follow AfterBuzz TV on all social media platforms at AfterBuzz TV. Make sure to give us a 5-star rating if you are listening to us on iTunes. Write a little comment, and we will definitely get back to you if you're watching on YouTube. We love you guys. We'll see you next week.
Ta-ta!
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
See you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.